Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Wildcast. I'm Janae Gonzalez.
And I'm Ashley Freedy.
The Richard F. Karras Mirror Lab Tour is held every year to showcase how the U of A's College of Science is helping to build the world's largest and most advanced giant telescope mirrors. Wildcast reporter Allison Callan joined the tour to see the progress the university has made on the project.
At the University of Arizona, giant telescope mirrors are created and imported from the Richard F. Karras Mirror Laboratory. These conventional solid glass mirrors are used for putting together the giant Magellan telescope, making it the world's largest and most advanced Earth-based telescope when finished.
The mirror lab here at the university is the only place in the world that can make mirrors this big. And you want big mirrors. If you have a lot of smaller mirrors, they can become very hard to align all these small mirrors together. So if you make big mirrors, it makes your telescope alignment a lot easier. So the biggest mirror you can make the better.
Though the Mirror Lab is located right next to the stadium, many students do not know it is there. However, the tours are open to the general public.
I went on the Mirror Lab tour, and it was really interesting. I didn't even know that was here. I didn't know that they were so large or that they had to be transported by boat and that they went all over the world. It definitely increased my interest in astronomy and makes me want to be more involved with astronomy.
Reporting for UATV, I'm Allison Callan.
The last U of A history tour of the semester takes place this Wednesday at 10 a.m. On the tour, guests learn about the university's history and traditions and experience the university through the eyes of alumnus. Reservations are required and can be made by contacting Wendy Roontree of the Visitor Center at visitor@email.arizona.edu.
With finals just around the corner, the university's library is helping students get rid of some stress by giving free 5-minute back rubs. The STRESSBUSTERS, or the people giving the short massages, are specially trained students from a campus health services program. STRESSBUSTERS will be in the main lobby of the library every Monday at 7 p.m. until December 4th.
After the break, we'll have more information about an event to get you in the mood for the holidays.
That and Tucson's dog show will give you something to bark about. We'll be right back.
Arizona History Museum's Sonoran Wreath Festival is still going on and lasts until the 17th. Throughout the week, at various times, the museum has custom wreaths on display by local artists and businesses. They are also holding a silent auction on the last day of the festival and serving food and hot cider. For specific times and details, visit the website below.
COYOTE Classic is hosting their annual all-breed and specialty group dog show from the 16th to the 20th of this month. The show is held at the Pima County Fairgrounds, and Friday through Monday is themed Western Days. Competitors, attendees, and dogs are all welcome to dress up in their Western gear.
Looking ahead to December, the U of A's Life and Work Connections is joining up with local YMCA to put on a Maintain No Gain holiday challenge. On the 1st and 5th of December and continuing into the beginning of January, participants can weigh in at the Life and Work Connection Center between 9 and 11 a.m. If you maintain your weight within 2 pounds of your first weigh-in, you qualify for the prize drawing held at the end of the challenge.
Honestly, I probably need to sign up for that because I gained like 5 pounds just immediately after Thanksgiving dinner.
Thanksgiving's the best though, so it's okay. You'll just work it all off.
Yeah, eventually, maybe like in January at the new year. Speaking of being in shape, we're talking all things sports when we come back.
UATV3, now on Facebook.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in to Wildcast Sports, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union. I'm sports anchor Alec White, and boy did we have a doozy of a sports weekend for the Wildcats. Let's start out on the grassy fields of Mulcahy Stadium, where Arizona women's soccer hosted TCU in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. Despite trailing 0-1 in the second half, the Wildcats mounted a crazy comeback to defeat the Horned Frogs 2-1. They now face the Florida State Seminoles in this weekend in Palo Alto. The same night, men's basketball hosted NAU in its season opener in the McHale Center. After playing 2 exhibition games, the season finally began as the number 3 Wildcats steamrolled the Lumberjacks 101-67. Junior guard Alonzo Trier had a night to remember for the Wildcats. Sports reporter Zach Lazarus has more on Trier's stellar game.
It only took 40 minutes for an Arizona Wildcat to set a career high in scoring tonight. Alonzo Trier had a night to remember in their season opening game against the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks, being on the court for a total of 32 minutes, scoring a career high of 32 points. Being 10 for 13 for his shots, 2 for 2 on his threes, and 10 for 11 on his free throws, head coach Sean Miller had a lot to say about Trier tonight.
You know, Alonzo has put in as much work on the game of basketball as any player that we've had. He's fought through his own adversity. I think it's helped him. It's allowed him to grow up. He's more mature. He's the best teammate he's ever been. But he's certainly, from an offensive perspective, he takes a back seat to nobody who's playing this game. If you leave him open, he's going to make the shot. And he's always had a gift of being able to get there. I just feel like he does it in a more efficient way now than ever before. But he set the tone, and when our defense was not very good tonight, especially in the first half, the reason that we had the lead that we did was because of how prolific he was on offense.
The Arizona Wildcats fought for their first win of the season tonight with a final score of 101-67. Reporting to you from the McHale Center for UATV Sports, I'm Zach Lazarus.
Men's basketball had a day off on Saturday and then faced UMBC in the second regular season game on Sunday, winning by a final score of 103-78. Sports reporter Courtney Rice takes a look at how Arizona's offense is firing at all cylinders already.
The second game of the regular season for the U of A Wildcats was another success with a big win over UMBC. The players proved their abilities with countless dunks and completed opportunities on basket. Dunk after dunk, the number 3 ranked Cats sure had a field day, including 61% shooting from the field and 54% from the 3.
Players were definitely highlighted this evening for the Wildcats as we saw hard-to-beat plays, including DeAndre Ayton's tip dunk that enhanced the 103-78 victory.
And I heard Coach Miller say, DeAndre, go get that one, and I just dunked it. Before I jumped, he said, DeAndre, go get it. I'm like, okay.
I'll take full credit for that dunk. And if that's what he believes, great.
Another standout this game was no surprise. Alonzo Trier scored 32 points, which put him at hitting the 30-point benchmark for the second straight game.
We always knew he could score and what he does on the court, but I think his ability to lead in practice and off the court with his voice and leading by example, helping the younger guys has really helped us and helped himself.
From a Sunday night here at McHale, this is UATV3 sports reporter Courtney Rice.
Let basketball distract you from the fact that Arizona football is also having a strong season. Khalil Tate and company hosted Oregon State on Saturday in the final home game of the 2017 season. Fueled by a new school rushing record, the Cats raced past the Beavers by a final score of 49-28. Sports reporter Austin Torres goes more in-depth on Arizona's rushing attack.
It was a night to remember for the Arizona Wildcat seniors tonight, as they had everything going their way when the visiting Beavers came into town. Khalil Tate led the charge tonight for the Arizona Wildcats as they defeated the Oregon State Beavers 49-28. Arizona got on the board early, scoring the game's first 4 touchdowns and went into halftime with a 28-0 lead against the visiting Beavers. It was all on the ground for Arizona as they had 55 rushes for 534 yards, setting a school single-game rushing record. However, the Beavers would not go away as they scored all of their 28 points in the second half. Even when it looked like Oregon State was going to get themselves back into the game, U of A always seemed to have an answer. Khalil Tate led the charge on the ground as he had 208 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. J.J. Taylor also had 130 yards rushing, as well as senior Nick Wilson with 101 yards rushing and a touchdown. Coach Richrod was asked after the game how U of A can continue to run the ball even when opposing teams know that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's it starts with the big guys up front, and they're a really hard-working group. I know I mentioned it before. Our tight ends do a great job of blocking. I think our receivers are overlooked sometimes the way they block.
The Wildcats will be back in action next Saturday in Eugene, Oregon, where they will take on the 5-5 Oregon Ducks. Reporting to you from the Arizona Stadium for UATV Sports, I'm Austin Torres.
Basketball also opened their season this past weekend in Tucson to start the second season in the Adia Barnes era. Sports reporter Joseph Klein has a game recap.
And a 5-13 conference record, the Wildcats are looking to bounce back and make this a positive year.
The shots were not falling early, but Arizona knew that making the hustle plays would create open opportunities. Arizona's upperclassmen kept them on the right track, but it was freshman point guard Marley Kyle that made the plays to keep them on top. 5'7" freshman guard Marley Kyle led the team with 17 points and added 6 rebounds to her stat line. Here's what she had to say.
Do you feel that on the court?
Oh, yes, definitely. I feel it on the court, especially being the point guard. I'm kind of the smallest person out there. They look towards me a lot, and they know, it's kind of just they have confidence in me, and I'm really proud of it. It makes me really happy.
You crash into the rim a lot more. You seem a lot more aggressive than you played in the past exhibitions. What kind of sparked that fire, so to speak? I think you had 6 rebounds tonight or today, right?
We always joke about it in practice. We're like, Coach, put me in the post line, let me get some rebounds. But today I was like, I'm a shower. I could really rebound if I try. So that was just mainly kind of being Marley. She got that.
Here's Coach Barnes on Marley's impact to the team.
Yeah, Marley's getting better every game. And Marley, I don't think we're going to have to really worry about her being aggressive because she's just aggressive. She's just looking to score. But she's always done that. But that's a dynamic that we don't have. So I like that. I know, am I going to live with a couple bad shots from Marley? I am. I'm going to because she can do it. And she's a high volume kid. And she's playing good.
Reporting from the McHale Center for UATV Sports, I'm Joseph Klein.
One of the most interesting aspects of this year's women's basketball team is how many freshmen are looking to make an impact. Sports reporter Heather Rich talks about how they are adjusting to college ball so far.
After losing 9 players last season, the Arizona women's basketball team shows off some new faces as they take on Iona for the season opener.
Arizona's 2 new outstanding freshmen, point guard Marley Kiles and forward Sam Thomas, were 2 influential players during their victory against Iona. Together totaling 13 rebounds and 27 points, these 2 freshmen undoubtedly set the pace for the first game of the season. It was a slow start during the first quarter when both teams struggled to put points up on the board, but senior forward Kat Wright and freshman point guard Marley Kyle scored 6 straight points to tie the first quarter 14-14. Going into the second quarter with the tied score, Arizona got the ball rolling when 5 Wildcats scored a total of 16 points to put a 10-point lead on Iona, ending the first half 30-20. After halftime, the Arizona Wildcats started the second half more relaxed when their excellent defense kept Iona from taking the lead. Thomas led the Wildcats with 3 blocks and 7 rebounds. Arizona gave up 25 points to Iona during the fourth quarter as they started to make a comeback, but Arizona had a comfortable 20-point lead that Iona was never able to beat. Iona fell to the Arizona Wildcats in the first game of the season, 71-58. Freshmen Marley Kiles and Sam Thomas give their thoughts on what the pressure of the regular season means for them.
The pressure is definitely on now that every game counts. Our senior Julia, we're trying to play for her in post game, so every game really counts. Yeah, like we can't stress it enough, like in the locker room and warm-ups, or even like at halftime or timeouts, or like we're playing, this is planning for like to end our season, like, so we just gotta think like that.
Reporting to you from the McHale Center for UATV Sports, I'm Heather Rich.
Last but certainly not least is women's volleyball, which took on number 16 Oregon on Sunday afternoon. After dropping the first 2 sets, the Cats made a comeback to win in 5 sets. Sports reporter Riley Holman dives into what fueled the come-from-behind win.
Women's volleyball has had a tough season thus far. The Wildcats are 3-12 in conference and 10-15 overall.
The Arizona Wildcats take on number 16 Oregon in hopes of ending their 4-game losing streak. The Arizona Wildcats have a young starting lineup, so they hope to show their young talent.
In a close set starting off the match, the Cats started off rallying and leading the Ducks. The Ducks came fighting back and won the set 26-24. Both teams ended the set with a high number of kills, making it 16 for each team. In set 2, the Ducks rolled through the Wildcats, proving why they are ranked number 16. In set 2, the Ducks swept the Wildcats 25-16. Oregon's height on the net and skilled hitters put major pressure on the Wildcats. After a halftime talk in the locker room, the Wildcats came out and dominated the Ducks 25-21. Rallying, Arizona takes the 4th set over the Ducks 25-21. At this point, the sets are tied up for both teams. In a short set to 15, the Wildcats take the victory over the Ducks 15-13. With a close and competitive match, the Wildcats proved their young starting lineup can battle. Ending in 5 sets, the Wildcats take the victory and hit the road on Friday in Boulder, Colorado, in hopes of a win over the Buffaloes. This victory will make the Cats 5-12 in conference. The Wildcats hit the road for the rest of their season and then return home to the last season match against Arizona State University. Reporting to you from the McHale Center for UATV Sports, I'm Riley Holman.
That's going to do it for Wildcast Sports tonight. Tune in next week to see all the latest content on Arizona sports. Don't go away, more Wildcast is next.
Last week, we asked how many of you traveled to Los Angeles to watch the U of A versus USC football game. 19% of you answered yes, 33% said no, and nearly half of you said that you did not go to LA, but you watched the game here at home.
This week, we want to know how many of you are going home for Thanksgiving. I cannot wait. Let us know on our Twitter poll at UATV3. Also, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and as always, feel free to catch up on any shows you may have missed on our YouTube channel. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.